I can't count how many times I've spoken to people and they tell me that they don't know what to do when it comes to building their personal brands. They get stuck because they don't know what direction to take. They get stuck because they don't have a path to follow, so to speak. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is showing you 7 templates or 7 types of personal brands I've observed and I've noticed that I believe that you can emulate, you can be inspired by, and build and pattern your own personal brand around it. So before we go into the video, I want to introduce myself to you. My name is Jesse Dan-Yusuf, and I help people like you create ambitious and authentic personal brands so that they can make a living doing what they love. And I own a creative agency called Fireworks, where I help personal and business brands tell their story so that they can gain attention. Before we go, I need you to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and then you can share this video so that more people can learn about it. Thank you. Okay, before we go any further, what is a personal brand? I found that many people are confused. Some people don't like the idea of it, but a personal brand is simply this. A personal brand is how people see you, understand you, and remember you. Essentially, a personal brand is the story about yourself that you share with the world. Now, I tell people all the time that you already have a personal brand. You just have to be deliberate and intentional about it, because people will always have a story about you, whether you're in the room or not, whether you're present or not. So what you need to be doing is be intentional about the kind of stories that people are telling about you. And if you want people to tell great stories about you, you need to share also great stories about yourself. So basically, a personal brand is how people see you, understand you, and remember you. So we're going to talk about 7 types of personal brands I have noticed and observed that anyone, anywhere can take advantage of and pattern their own personal brands around and run with it, especially if you're just starting out. So the first and obvious one is the expert or authority brand. Basically, the expert or authority brand is the person that you think of concerning a particular topic. So the expert or authority brand is for the kind of people who have a deep knowledge about a topic or area of conversation. These are the people that everybody goes to seek counsel and advice from when that topic is brought up. So if you're that kind of person, for instance, if you like cars and people always come to meet you about cars, or even if it's just Mercedes or something or Audi, you have an in-depth knowledge, a passion for it. People see you as the go-to person. That's the thing. If you want to become the go-to person about a topic or area of conversation, then you are seen as an expert or an authority. So that is the kind of personal brand that's the first kind of personal brand. And actually, it's one of my favorites because often these people help a lot of people. Now, for instance, one of my friends during the pandemic, Adetola Onayemi, was helping people during the 2020 lockdown pandemic. As an international trade lawyer, he was helping people understand what was happening with the economy. Also, not just the economic side of it, but the legalities of it. Tola positioned himself as an authority on the legal and economic conversations on global issues. And now Tola runs his own company, which is doing amazing. Another example is, someone, I don't know if you guys know Dr. Jane Goodall, who is an expert on chimpanzees. She has an incredible knowledge about it. And it's the same. You may have incredible knowledge about a particular area. What you need to do is start telling people and publicizing it, and people will see you as an expert and an authority in that area and topic of conversation. This is my favorite. Yeah, let's go to the second one. The second kind of personal brand also is one of the most obvious, is the inspirational or motivational personal brand, where you have athletes, or not just athletes, people who have gone through something significant in their lives, have overcome it, and they are now able to share their story and motivate people and inspire people to become better human beings. So an example is David Goggins, who does, the carry the boat videos, And he has really inspired people to go into the gym, to lift weights, to build their bodies, to be intentional about their bodies. David Goggins, there's Tony Robbins, who has motivational speeches and all. There's Eric, the hip hop preacher, all sorts of people, all kinds of motivational and inspirational people. They are great at, motivating people, stirring people into action. That may be something you are good at, and you may want to take advantage of that. So experts or authority personal brand, the inspirational or motivational personal brand. And thirdly, also very obviously, the influencer personal brand. These are people who, they may not, in quotes, are necessarily talented or skillful at something, but what they've done is they've been able to share stories or capture stories about certain areas of their lives, certain things they are passionate about. So it could be makeup, it could be food, it could be anything, quite honestly. And they share their passion for it, and they tell a story and build a following around it. Usually authenticity is a big deal in this area. Now, one of my recent influencer personal brands is a man called Keith Lee. Keith Lee goes around cities in the United States and he reviews food, and without anybody paying him, and honestly, he changes people's lives. Very genuine, authentic guy. He has been doing this for maybe a year and a half. For me, the perfect influencer personal brand. So you want to pattern your personal brand, you should look up someone like Keith Lee. I know there are all kinds of people in the makeup, fashion, and different kinds of industries, but all these people are sharing their stories and inviting people to be a part of their journey, and they're able to influence. Then the fourth one also is what I'll call a community builder. And that is something I like to do actually. When I just started my company, Fireworks, we couldn't get any business. So what I started doing in the city of Abuja, where I'm residing, what I started doing was I started to gather creatives and entrepreneurs into a room. So about 100 of us every month will share stories. I'll bring people and we'll just share stories of success, of failures, how to navigate different things, and my reputation started to build and people started to patronize my company, Fireworks. So you may be good at bringing people together or curating experiences. That's something you may want to look into as a community builder or an experience curator. The fifth one is what I'll call the tech or innovator personal brand. And the perfect example is the man called Elon Musk. Elon has found a way to share stories about things he's passionate about, his company, Tesla, SpaceX, and now X. In the Nigerian space, there are lots of tech guys, tech bros, who share stories about the companies they are building, the solutions they are building. They are, very innovative, and they're trying to solve problems. They're trying to push society forward. If that's something you're passionate about, you need to take advantage of that and share stories around that. And the sixth one, I debated combining that with the influencer personal brand, but I don't think it's the same thing because it's sometimes overlaps. By the way, some of these things overlap. So it is not like set in stone that you cannot be one or the other. So this sixth one is the lifestyle brand. These are people who are passionate about maybe clothing, lifestyle, food, travel, fitness. To be honest, quite anything that defines you. They share their journey, they share their story, and often they build thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of following. So that's something you may be passionate about. I just started convincing one of my friends to post her picture because she dresses really well. I started to convince her to post pictures of herself every week, every day actually. I've started convincing her to be a personal stylist to people because she does this very well. So that's something you may be very interested in, telling those kinds of stories and sharing, lifestyle experiences. The last type of personal brand for today is, I'll just say, the contrarian personal brand. Now, the contrarian is someone that, from the word, they are not afraid to share contrary opinions, and they're not afraid to say, I don't agree with this. They're not afraid to make people think differently. I respect people like that, and we need them because society should not be full of yes men. Do you understand? We need people who are saying, hey, don't just look this way, look the other way. That may be you. If you have contrary opinions about popular opinions, then you may want to share your ideas. Be prepared for whatever comes from that. But that is the 7th type of personal brand I've seen. There are all kinds of people that share contrary opinions on different subjects, everything from politics to sports to entertainment, and they build a reputation about someone who holds an opinion that not everybody holds onto, and I respect that, So that may be something that is worth looking into. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. I'm going to do a part 2, maybe a part 3. What we will do is I'll continually share types or templates of personal brands. You can pattern your own personal brand around either 1 or 2 or even 3 of these things, because you can absolutely be a lifestyle, tech, contrarian, personal brand type person. You don't have to be any of these things, but I shared them because it gives you kind of like a pattern of what to build after, especially if you're just starting out. I hope this helped, and if you want to know more about building a personal brand and making a living doing what you love, or building an online business, then you need to be part of my community, The Fire Nation. Just click on the link in the description and you'll receive emails, tips, and strategies on how to build a powerful personal brand and to make a living doing what you love. Come on, please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Come on, what are you waiting for? All right, see you in the next video. Thank you.